going on? What's going on? What's going on, everyone? So, I have something I need to get off my chest. It's time to have a grown folks chit chat. That's right. So, as we get into these relationships with people, and you know, in the beginning, everything starts off great. You guys are vibing, you guys are connected, you guys are having you're just getting along really well. So you guys decide to take your relationship to the next level and you move in together. So, and then when you move in together, you get to see how people live and you're around each other more often than just hanging out. Things can start to shift, as we know. And my question to the folks, the grown folks today, the grown folks in the building, at what point do we go from being in a beautiful blossoming relationship to we get to a point where we are in the same house but we're divided? Basically, we just turn into roommates. And I know I'm not the only person who has experienced this. Some people are married to their roommates. Yeah, so I was wondering, at what point do we get in our relationships where we just stay under the same roof, but we are not connected. We divide, and some of us don't even sleep in the same bed. Some of us, honestly. And I don't know why we stay. It could be because we got kids together, or some of us is just afraid to be alone. Might be for financial reasons. I'm not sure. But why do we stay in these relationships where we're physically together, but that's just it? We're just physically together. We live in the same roof, but we don't do anything together. We don't have conversation, and of course that affects the intimacy, if there's any. It affects the boom boom part in the relationship, and once that gets affected, that could very well introduce other problems into the relationship. So I'm gonna try not to ramble too much with this conversation, this chit chat, because it just was on my spirit. And I'm speaking from personal experience because this happened to me. And then, when you try to address the issue so that you can try to get back to, having a healthy relationship and not just being roommates, how do you approach that? How do you tell your partner that without it becoming an argument? That's my question. Because I was in that situation and I tried to tell my significant other, hey, we got some red flags going on in the relationship and they need to be addressed. And every time I tried to address it and bring it to his attention, he would disregard me and pretty much shut it down and say something was wrong with me, and that it's not like that. And, I'm like, no, there's really something. And then he would wonder why that I never want to roll over for him. I'm like, look, you want somebody to roll over for you, and when it comes to my emotions and feelings and my thoughts, you kind of just dismiss them? That's not okay. That's not okay. So for us women, women, we are very much so emotional beings, very much so. And when somebody dismisses or disregards our emotions and feelings, the only way we know how to get you to understand is for us to physically to shut you down. So if it means withholding the sex, which that's not the intention to withhold sex from anybody, it's just if I can't come to you and express myself, good, bad, and ugly, and you're not receptive to listen to what I have to, at least listen to me and let me get my thoughts out, then I feel bottled. I feel bottled, and I feel like I can't express myself. I feel like, that I just have to shut up and shut down. And who wants to feel backed up and feel like they can't ever express themselves, especially to their significant other? That's not okay. That's not okay. And a lot of us females, a lot of us in relationships are living this life where we're just in a situation, and of course it affects everything. If you with somebody who is always constantly not being attentive to your needs, your wants, and your desires, how the hell you gonna lay out and want to have sex with them? And it be, decent. I mean, some of us, we still will roll over, but we're physically there, but we're not emotionally there. We're not at all. And us women, we know how to disconnect ourselves from that very easily, and it end up being not good sex or no sex at all. And of course, when you got that going on, it definitely can introduce other problems in your relationship, and somebody may end up cheating many times, and that sure enough can bring other problems. And so I was just wondering, how do you come back? How do you get reconnected with your significant other once the disconnect has started in the relationship? Because once it starts, one argument of disconnect can turn into another argument, and then you just kind of stop talking to each other about stuff because it goes nowhere. Communication is terrible or not at all. So, when I was in my situation and that started to happen, I would try to communicate with them that this is happening, and I would say, because you can't go when you are bringing up that situation. It's very a sensitive topic, it can be. You can't go in attack mode. You can't go in there arguing and speaking loud and belittling the person, because they won't receive what you're trying to communicate with it to them, So you can't go in pointing the fingers. You, because the person was like, no, I didn't, and they won't receive it. A lot of times we have to be accountable. It takes two people to make a relationship to work. And if two people is not equally on the same page and trying to fix what may be broken, then it sure enough ain't gonna work. So, we have to go in when what I would try to do is say, look, I miss my friend. I miss having my friend, because when you're in a relationship with somebody, you definitely, they should be your friend. They should be your best friend, actually. And with your best friend, you're supposed to share pretty much everything and anything with them. The good, bad, and the ugly, and everything in between. So I would always address it like, you know, I miss having my friend. We're not even really communicating with each other. And when we do, I'm not feeling any intimacy. I'm not feeling that we are vibing together. So, again, like I was saying, when I would try to tell him about it, tell him about my issues that I was having, I would always say I miss my friend, and then I would say I know, you know, I need to work on X, Y, and Z. That means I'm holding myself accountable. You have to acknowledge your own faults in the situation. Because it's not always one person with the issues, two people. So if you go in acknowledging things that's wrong with you and that you need to work on, then it may open up some, you know, better communication. But in my situation, my spouse, he would say they were going to change and they was going to do better, but and it didn't happen, and eventually the relationship just kind of ended because I'm like, look, I don't want to be in a relationship with no roommate. We together, we gonna be together. If we not together, then we need to part ways. You need to go your way and allow me to go my way, because this is not a healthy relationship, and I'm not gonna just be in here wasting time with you. So it didn't work. It didn't work for me, but I'm asking other people, how do they do, especially if you were married. You know, if you're married, it's a difference. That's completely different from you just, you know, being with somebody, because, you know, you got financial ties together, maybe kids are involved, maybe I done went out and bought a house or something together. So it's different when you marry, you know. But I'm trying to see, like, moving forward, how do you try to eliminate your relationship going from good to great, you know, from great to just living in the same roof. Because being in a relationship, it's a challenge. It can be difficult. It can. I think marriage is definitely overrated in my book. And again, I think, you know, it comes down to you finding the right person. That's what I hear. You find the right person, and it's not that bad, but marriage is a work in progress for everyone involved. You constantly have to, you know, work at it, make it interesting, make it not boring, not get caught up in routines and try to keep some spice going in your relationship. How do you do that? Because, honey, I get so comfortable with being single, and it's so what's the word? It's so easy to not deal with it at all, than to get in a relationship that can have its share of drama and getting bored, getting sick of each other. You can get sick of each other, and there come the problems. But how do you get there? Because I'm just at a place now, especially with the way guys are, the relationships are, and how it's so hard to trust people's intentions when they meet you. You know, are they really into being with you, or are they just trying to use you for whatever their benefits are, to come up, or because you gonna help them in their career, help them financially, or they gonna use you to cover up some of their insecurities or they secrets they might have going on. So I'm not gonna ramble on too much. This video has always been long enough, and I just wanted to get some thoughts off my chest dealing with this, because I was in that same situation, and it bothered me, that I went from having a really good friend to somewhere we lost each other, and I don't know. I know why. I have my opinion as to why, and I'm sure he has his opinion as to why as well. But it ultimately ended up us parting ways, and there was a lot of different factors in that as to why it ended. But so I guess I'm gonna go ahead and end this video for now. Thank you guys for listening to me ramble on about having this grown folks chit chat about relationships. Let me know in the comments below your opinion on this situation. And if you're enjoying the content, make sure you definitely support the channel by giving it a thumbs up. Consider sticking around and subscribing to my page. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm still very much so new to this thing, so I'm learning as I go. But I pray that you all have a wonderful day. Continue to take care of yourself, love on yourself, do things that make you feel good, because you only have one life to live, and if you can't enjoy yourself and enjoy waking up and finding love in yourself, it's going to be hard for you to have good relationships with other people around you. So until next time.